General items, item number 11, request from Lloyd Wise Company of Vacaville for a business incentive to assist in locating a new Nissan dealership at 1340 Bridge Street. Mr.
Good
Gale.
evening, Mr. Mayor Gill and council members. It's a pleasure to be before you this evening to talk about a business incentive request that's come in from Lloyd Wise Company of Oakland and of Vacaville and a variety of different car dealerships. Let me talk a little bit about, provide some background about incentives as it relates to current city programs. In February of 2011, the City Council adopted a toolbox of business incentives for staff to be able to work on a case-by-case basis to bring back to council for council approval. These incentives did include sales tax rebates, but it did not include sales tax rebates. The sales tax rebate was based upon new construction and not to exceed the amount of impact fees. This is kind of briefly, I'll go through them just to kind of give an update of what they were. One was trying to encourage the ability to finance impact fees through either a SKIP program or through creating your own CFD. One was dealing with infrastructure, an extension of water or sewer lines, which we would come and recommend if we had a major employer that needed these major utilities to come in. Obviously, streamlining a permitting process. And a great example is Kingsbury's project of less than 2 months, a project moving forward and being under construction. We're currently going under that process with Twin Rivers Charter Academy so that they can open and have their, I believe, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade programs. The city is open for business and wants to work with these businesses. Additionally, working with possibly a new hotel developer and TOT and helping incentivize and encourage them to come. Enterprise Zone was a huge one, which ended last year, but businesses can still apply through the end of this year. And I think I twice have on their CFDs, but one of the other ones was promotion. And what the city did on the Shop or Think Yuba Sutter First program in providing $50,000 to our car dealers, they matched it with another $50,000, and a promotional opportunity was set forth. In May, the city manager and myself had an opportunity to meet with 3 members from the Lloyd Wise Company on their plans to occupy the Toyota facility, which now I can say the former Toyota facility because they did open up this past weekend. It's a beautiful facility there on Highway 20 and a great addition to our community. In August, we did receive a request from the Lloyd Wise Company asking for council's consideration of a business incentive. They have signed a lease to occupy this space. I'm sure that there's plenty of contingencies in there. And here this evening we have Tracy Mitchell with them. I'd like to introduce Tracy if you want to come up now and talk a little bit about their proposal. He can also introduce himself and tell you a little bit about their company.
Thank you, Darren. Again, my name is Tracy Mitchell. I'm from Vacaville, California, and with Lloyd Wise Motor Group out of Vacaville. We also have our parent company, which is out of Oakland. We are very excited to have this opportunity to partner with Yuba City and to bring a Nissan dealership here. We have a unique opportunity in which we get to open the first companion store in Nissan's history, which is really kind of a neat thing for us, that we get to help kind of write the book on what a Nissan companion store might look like and how it would look like here in Yuba City. One of the things we're excited about in touring the dealership last week, I really kind of got excited. I had a young man by the name of Josh who had heard that we were coming into town. He had just graduated UTI and has been looking for work, and was excited that he had an opportunity to possibly go to work for an auto dealership. So I guess, the excitement for me is the ability to be able to bring jobs, to create jobs in a community, the type of jobs that people can build a career on. Good paying jobs they can build houses with, buy furniture, boats, all that stuff. Darren's, laid out a great proposal for us. We are looking for some incentives. We have a lot of work to do down there at Bridge Street. After doing my tour, we have a lot of work to do. But needless to say, we are still excited to open the doors here. We are excited to work with Yuba City, with its constituents, its community, and to be involved. And if you look at our history, Lloyd Wise, whether it be in Oakland or Solano County, you will find that we are very involved, we're very active, and we like to give back. And we look forward to that opportunity here. So we hope that you will consider our proposal, and we look forward to the partnership. Thank you.
To the mayor.
Yes.
Before you walk away, I have a quick question. Could you explain to us what a companion store is?
Well, like I said, it's brand new to Nissan, and it's brand new to us. So we are kind of, we're trying to figure that out a little bit. But what it does, it gives us opportunity as an owner, a Nissan dealer already, to open another store using same inventory, same management, stuff like that. So, but basically the flooring costs, we save a little bit of money on the flooring costs. Is kind of where we're at right now. Okay, but it's a new thing. It is a brand new thing, and we are working to our end to try and really kind of map out exactly what a companion store is going to look like. So it's a neat opportunity, and we're very excited that Nissan picked our group to kind of help write the book, the pamphlet on what a companion store could be, whether it be in Yuba City or anywhere in the world.
Tracy, just another point of clarification for a lot of the people that may not know. Yuba City used to have a Nissan dealer. It does not have a Nissan dealer at the present time. Correct. So it's not like we're expanding as a brand new Nissan dealer coming back to town. Any other questions?
Yes. Tracy, good to see you again.
Thank you.
In this companion store venue, is it kind of a situation where all your bookkeeping, accounting, and all that stuff will be in Vacaville, and you'll have salespeople and service people up here, yet your basic operation will still be Vacaville as far as the accounting?
Well, no, everything will operate out of Yuba City. Sales, business staff, all that will operate out of Yuba City. Again, it's just the ability to order inventory for multiple stores. That's kind of where we're at right now. The exciting part is, as a companion store, we're looking at 25, 30 jobs initially. Good paying, like I said, good paying jobs to bring to town and operate that store.
The majority of those jobs will hopefully come from the local area here.
We've already held several job fairs. We've had some great candidates come out of Yuba City. Like I mentioned, the young man that came up the other day. We're very excited about the talent we've seen here. Unfortunately, for them to look for these types of jobs, they'd have to go elsewhere. Mm-hmm. So it's nice for us to be able to bring it here, and that they can stay at home and work at home.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions from?
Not for now.
Okay, Darren. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Unless you've got some stuff, Darren, we can bring it back. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for public comment.
Okay.
Okay, is that okay? Do we got a speaker card?
Would you like me to at least go over
yes,
the deal points of
Peter,
here?
perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we do need speaker cards.
So the proposal from the Lloyd Wise Company is asking. They have two different proposals: $295,000 and $305,000. So all just use an average number of 300. They include a rebate of sales tax over the first 3 years, and some type of rebate on the property tax. As relates to sales tax, obviously a new Nissan dealership coming here. It's been 4 years since Nissan was at Dow Lewis Motors. We would see an increase. They believe that their sales tax generation to the city would be around $150,000, somewhere between $100,000 and $150,000. New sales tax generations to the city. As relates to property tax, the city, there would really be no increase in property tax because of the existing facility there. There might be a reassessment of the property based upon the improvements they make and how the value of those improvements. So we would not see an increase. Additionally, of the $19,000 paid annually in property taxes, we only receive 16% of that. So it's a very small portion coming back to the city. At this time, I can also talk about other incentives other communities have done, or you can do public comment, which whatever you desire, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, let's see what other
Okay.
communities have done.
So a few things. First, Yuba City as an example, we provided $50,000 to try to see an increase in purchasing of new vehicles here. Currently, just over 50% of new vehicles that are purchased within our market, so the Yuba Sutter region, are purchased here locally. This is of vehicles that the make and model are available here. So I'm not including BMWs, Mercedes, Porsches, whatever, Lexus. That's not included in that number. So only 50% of new car purchases that have a registered address of Yuba Sutter are purchased here. Otherwise, they're outside of the market. Anaheim recently, just in June, they're trying to attract additional sales tax because Disneyland doesn't provide enough for new car dealers, and they are putting out 40% of the new sales tax generation from a car dealer of either existing or a new car dealership. Elk Grove was looking to get Elk Grove Ford to move from along the highway over into the auto mall. They asked for $1 million. They considered an incentive of about a $500,000. But this was an incentive for an existing car dealership to move within their auto mall, and it was directly tied to some of the infrastructure cost. Elk Grove also to Mazda had a temporary dealership. They wanted them to build a new facility. They created a program which deferred some of their impact fees up to $150,000. Sacramento County, Mike Dotree, Chevrolet, I forget, was on Fulton. They offered them $100,000 a year for 10 years to maintain their facility there on the corner. Since that time, they have decided to move from that facility. So I don't know how much money was given out or if they had to repay, but it was $100,000 a year to maintain them there on Fulton, and they went ahead and moved to one of the auto malls. Folsom, this was for an existing. Folsom has the auto mall right there on Highway 50, and they've struggled of recent in the last few years. Folsom Imports, a company was coming in and purchasing and remodeling it to the cost of $7 million. They waived all planning and building fees. Within the staff report, there's no information of how much that was, but it wasn't new impact fees. It was just the processing fees that they waived and the permit fee for the new construction. Pittsburgh, another city that is trying to encourage people to move to the auto mall. So they have an incentive of 25% of the sales tax would go to the car dealer for 10 years if they would move from their existing location and build a new facility within their auto mall. And then also Elk Grove has done a shop local incentive. They provided $500 in gift certificates to local Elk Grove businesses to the first, I think it was 500, or sorry, it was I forget exactly how much it was, but it was $500 per car, and this was their original amount. I know that they extended it. Could not find out exactly how much they went to, but I know that went quickly. It wasn't based upon a local car buy. It was just if you purchased a car within the Elk Grove Auto Mall, they would give you $500 to local businesses to try to incentivize people to buy vehicles there. So that's just a few of the programs within the Sacramento region and throughout the state that have happened within the last few years. There's some that have happened before using other types of funding. For example, Roseville spent $6 million in upgrades to their auto mall, but that was purely used through redevelopment funding, and that was at the end of paying off their initial investment in redevelopment funds to actually develop the auto mall. So twice they used redevelopment funds to incentivize and to assist the auto mall in Roseville. So that's a few of the examples, and obviously it would be a great opportunity to hear from the public on this item.
To the mayor.
Yes.
Quick question, Darren. The cities that offered to relocate into the auto malls, do those cities own the property where the auto malls are?
No,
And
privately owned.
Is Roseville owns the auto mall. The city owns that property, I believe.
I don't know. I can't answer that
I'm
question.
saying no.
Okay.
Well,
All right, that was a question on that. I was trying to get some idea why they were trying to get them to locate in their auto malls. Maybe it's because they feel that they can get more business.
Auto malls are very successful for cities in increasing sales tax generation. You have all of it's just like there's no doubt we'll see an increase in sales tax as we've provided more opportunities in consolidated areas. For example, Ford and Kia being together, at Toyota and John L. Sullivan, there will be a strong positive relationship between those two, or between the car dealers being together.
Well, I think you made the case that 50% of the vehicles that are purchased in our community to property owners here or people that live here are outside of our area, and it stands to reason the more dealerships that we get into our community, that will help stem the flow or leakage of those sales out of our community, because we'll have more opportunities to buy local.
And there's two other points that I should have mentioned that I think are pertinent for the information before we go to public comment. One is we've had John L. Sullivan and Kia both relocate into our community. Per state statute, you cannot provide an incentive to relocate one sales tax generator from one jurisdiction to another that's within a trade market. So by law, you cannot do that. And it's specifically for car dealerships, and that's how that law came about. The second one is if the council does consider any type of incentive program over $100,000, we do have to provide an economic impact report and have a public meeting notifying that we're going to be providing incentives or considering providing an incentive. So this evening, we're looking for direction, and we can come back at the next meeting based upon the council's direction.
Okay, great. Thank you, Darren. We'll go ahead and open it up for public comment. I've got Dr. Larry Ozran, who wishes to speak on this item.
Mayor Gill, members of the council, thank you again for your time this evening. I'm Larry Ozran from Northwest Yuba City, and incentives don't work. They don't they don't impact whether a business decides to relocate or locate in a specific location. It's great to talk about all the places that do give incentives, but that presents a one-sided picture. It doesn't show the places that don't give incentives because they've been demonstrated not to be effective. In some cases, car dealerships are slightly different, but in some cases, entities will take the incentive for several years and then look for incentives in other locations. In some cases, they would have moved there anyway, and they're simply asking because they can. It's gravy for them. It reduces their costs, but it doesn't impact whether they choose to move someplace. There's two possibilities based on what you do. Either you authorize the incentive, and we give away the equivalent of 2 police officers, or 7 officers off of furlough for 3 years, and they come here. Or you don't give that money away. We have more resources to support infrastructure and public safety, and they come here anyway. Once they've made the decision to come, giving an incentive makes absolutely no sense. It's simply a waste of public dollars, and I urge you not to pursue this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public who wishes to comment on this item? Okay, not, I'll bring it back to the council on their thoughts and their deals. I know Darren's looking for directions, and I know for us this is something that's new to us because I don't think we've been asked by a business to come and ask for incentives. And I believe, the Nissan dealership, I've had a chance to visit with them individually. I think they're a great group of people. And I think from what you've said, you're going to set the standards up pretty high, for the other car dealers as well. And my only thought process was that something that we haven't done this before in the sense, I'd like to see, a little bit more detail as far as what does the other car dealers say? What is the other jurisdictions doing? What are they not doing? Is this something that is feasible for us to do, or is this not feasible? And the reason I say that is because if you open it up now for a car dealership, tomorrow one of our larger equipment dealers, Value Truck and Tractor, may come back and say, well, there's a drought, so therefore I can't sell my equipment as much as I thought, so I need a tax break as well. So you've opened the Pandora's box. That's why it's something new for us. And I think as the mayor, one of the recommendations that I would like to propose is having an ad hoc committee with the vice mayor and myself and exploring this a little bit more, and then coming back to the council within a 30 or 45 day with recommendations. By then we've had a chance to take a look at it. We've had a chance to visit with the other car dealerships. We've had a chance to visit with the other jurisdictions in person. and then we can come back with the recommendations. And that's something that I would propose, unless you guys have something totally different. But I'm open to all the options.
No, I would support that. I think this needs more study. An incentive program, if it were to be brought here, I think it'd be tailor-made for Yuba City. And that is in speaking with the other car dealers. I have spoke with two of the other car dealers here in town, and they are of the opinion that incentives are an option for a city. They can be good, and they can also increase sales across the board because there are more options, just as we spoke about, as we talk about it, it's more tire kicking, so to speak. And so individuals will travel from the West Valley, from up in the foothills and north of us to come here and shop. So I think it does need more exploration. I would totally back the findings of an ad hoc committee of both the mayor and the vice mayor.
Any other thoughts, comments?
Darren, what kind of time frame is the dealership looking for? How soon do they need an answer?
I think if you're offering an incentive, that they'll take it whenever you provide it. But I know that they're looking to move forward very quickly to occupy the space. If they have a signed lease, there's probably time frames that they need to meet once it was vacated. And I'm sure that they'll be in soon to begin processing plans. I don't know those details, but if an ad hoc committee was put together, that's obviously something that we'll bring back. And I have no doubt that if the council set a date that you want us to be back before the council, that we can meet those timelines.
I think if we have the luxury of time, then certainly ad hoc committee makes sense. Then we can study it and make a wise decision. It is something. It's a decision that we don't make every day. I would agree with the ad hoc committee.
Through the mayor.
Yes.
I believe that since the council in their infinite wisdom put this plan together where we're going to allow some kind of incentives, possibly, that we certainly need to look at that. And this is the first person that's asked for it, so the time is now. If the ad hoc committee can come back with an overview, pros and cons of different options, rather than just a yes or no to the rest of the council, then we can consider it as a body and make our decision. I would not be opposed to incentivizing in some fashion, because I think in the long run, as you said, the more car dealers we have in town, the more opportunity we have people that are going to stay here and buy instead of going out of town, hopefully. And the net long-term revenue will be in a very positive fashion. So
That's exactly what our goal is, council member, is to bring this back a little bit more comprehensive instead of just a yes or no, with options to look at and actually explored.
then I would definitely support
And,
that.
I mean, just yesterday I had a meeting. Just so happens that two members of the Governor Brown's staff was in our office yesterday, and they were talking about incentives to car dealers that are relocating. And I'd be glad to pass those names along to you as well, Tracy. Of if you're moving from another city to here and you're creating jobs, it fit the bill absolutely perfectly. And when I was telling them exactly, without giving away names, and for equipment, for job creations, and up to sales tax, advantages that you can take advantage of. So there's a lot of stuff out there that we need to be exploring, and we need to come back, because this is something that we've never get this request. And tomorrow, Best Buy or Costco or somebody wants to come into town and ask for a higher break, we don't have anything to guide them against. So that's what our recommendation would be to do, is to have this ad hoc committee and then come back within a 30 or 40, no later than a 45 day or sooner, once we've got this report to this council with our recommendations.
Sounds good.
So we'll bring it back the first meeting in November or the second meeting in November.
As soon as we get it done,
Okay.
as soon as the vice mayor and I, and we'll put it together with yourself. As soon as we get it done, we'll definitely let you know. Like I said, no later than 45 days, sooner than 30 days.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.